The textbook definition for stress, at least physiologically, is anything that causes an increase in your cortisol level. Cortisol level is something that gives you energy, but if you have chronically elevated cortisol levels, it can actually work against you and cause you to accumulate fat and set you up for some metabolic diseases like diabetes, cholesterol issues, and high blood pressure. So what we tell people is that there's two different kinds of stress. There's the acute stress, like there's an earthquake right now. There's chronic stress, which is not getting treated well at work, not getting along with my husband, those sorts of things that tend to wear at people and cause these increased elevated cortisol levels. Exercise helps to manage stress because when we exercise, our body releases endorphins, which are the feel-good chemicals in our body, which hopefully allows you to continue to function well when you're under stress and you don't feel as bad about being stressed. Sometimes people come in and they say, well, I already exercise and I still feel stressed, so what can I do about that? And then we begin to emphasize things like, well, what time of day do you exercise? If you exercise too close to your bedtime, within 3 hours, sometimes that causes you to stay awake all night, which doesn't help most people where their stress is concerned. Or we encourage relaxation techniques, cognitive behavioral therapy, psychotherapy, those sorts of things. A proper diet is important for stress because what tends to happen when people are under stress is they crave the refined carbohydrates, the breads, the crackers, and the cookies. And the thing about the refined carbohydrates is that they'll increase your insulin level after you eat them. And when that happens, you crave more refined carbohydrates. So what happens is you get yourself into a vicious cycle where you're eating these refined carbohydrates, up goes your insulin, up goes your craving for the refined carbohydrates, so you eat more refined carbohydrates, and up goes your insulin. And what this tends to do is cause people to eat more who are under stress, and then what happens is they gain weight. And if you were stressed before you gained weight, you're going to be more stressed after you've gained weight for most people. The other thing I would tell people who are under stress is that they really shouldn't be taking in any caffeine if they can help it, which is to say that the stimulant effects of the caffeine can really work against you if you're having trouble sleeping, if you're feeling anxious or nervous. So stay away from it. If you feel like you absolutely need caffeine to function, it could be a sign that you have a medical problem that needs to be addressed. When I talk to my patients about finding their proper personal management of stress and what techniques may work for them, I try to think about the things that historically have helped my patients in the past: relaxation techniques, psychotherapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, exercise, yoga, Pilates. It really doesn't matter as long as you find what works for you. And when I think about things that work for my patients and they start telling me they're doing something different, I don't argue with them. My philosophy is that I don't mess with success. If you find something that allows you to function better, that makes you feel better, and you're not harming yourself or obviously anyone else, I think it's a good way for you to go, and I continue to encourage the activity.